Right, we're back to this, and we still haven't really got an idea of why it's not working properly. So I was thinking about it while I was driving last night. Didn't get finished till late, didn't get to bed at 2 o'clock this morning. I was thinking more like investigating this switch a bit more, because when I first turned it on, as I said previously, the radio seemed completely dead. And when I got it onto the middle switch position, which I think is long wave, I had nothing until I started playing with the switch, and then it started making contact. So I'm wondering if our problem is this switch and the contacts on it. Could be. So it's just somewhere to start. Now, my way of thinking at the moment is when we're on long wave, we've got voltages more or less where we should have them, and the radio's working fine, and we've got good volume. And we had that on medium wave when medium wave was working. But now medium wave is completely dead, and FM is completely dead. And there seems to be no signal getting through from anywhere. And I have checked, and I can't find anything wrong with my wiring yet. I'm not suggesting there isn't anything wrong. We'll leave our options open on that one, but at the moment I can't find anything. So I thought we'll start with this switch. And as I say, driving along, what I was thinking about was this switch and the fact that we did actually solder onto one of the pins, and I'm wondering if that could be a problem, as in the actual contacts, if they're making contact or not. So that's my way of thinking at the moment, but I do not really know why this radio has started to misbehave. Be perfectly honest, I haven't a clue. So, like I say, we just keep plugging away until we shake something loose. I don't really want to remove the switch and, make it hard work for myself. We do have a diagram of the switch connections, which is this here. There's all the switch numbers, and that corresponds with the schematic. You see these switch numbers in the actual schematic, but it doesn't tell you what they switch on the actual diagram. And also, probably what would help me a bit as well is to read through all of this text, so I can understand a bit more about how the radio works. It might help me a bit more in detecting what is actually up with this. This is Sunday. It is the 21st today. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have a look at this switch. Ideally, what I'd like to do is take the switch apart and clean all the contacts and then put it all back together again. But I just don't really want to take all them wires off. I'm just not very keen. It's a wafer switch. There are connections on both sides. I'm just not keen about taking this switch out. I mean, taking it apart should be fairly simple. I mean, it's got bolts going through. You can see the nuts on the end there. There's one there and one there. It goes right the way through. So it'd be a matter of undoing this nut on the front, taking it out and undoing these. Maybe I might be able to do that without actually taking the wires off. I don't know. The only component I'll be worried about is this resistor. I don't want to be flexing that. So if I was going to do that, I would unsolder that from one end. Okay, that's 100k brown, black, yellow, 100k silver, 10%. I think that is. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. As I say, we're scratching our head a bit on this one so far, and I have no experience in fault finding. None at all. There are those that can find the faults very, very quickly, know exactly what they're doing, whatever. I'm struggling now, be perfectly honest, but I'm not going to give up. We'll just keep going until either we bust it completely, even more than it is now, or we actually find something wrong. And this is how you learn. So, as I say, experience fault finding, not very much. Okay, so I'm going to have a go with my multimeter on this switch and get some voltage going through it and see what we can see. That's what I'm going to do next. Oh, and the one thing I have just this very second noticed, even though this has been on before, is we've got rid of that annoying buzz. So that's a bonus. So I'm going to get my multimeter out now and have a bit of a poke around. Right, yippee! I have actually found something. Pencil. Hang on, let's find my pencil. Right, we're getting out yet another new pencil because we can't find the other two. Anyway, this is what we found. I found a broken coil. Hang on, what I'm trying to do is use the lead of the pencil to demonstrate. There you are. Hear that? Whoops, difficult with one hand. There we are. Same buzzing we're getting here. There you go. So the coil is good. Because I'm just wetting the end of my pencil, just dampen it slightly, might help make contact better. Hear that buzzing? So that coil's good, it's just not connected. And now we've got to find out what it was connected to. And we'll have a look at these other coils. I'm not surprised if moving this backwards and forwards it's caught on something, and that could be our medium wave. And we'll have a look at our FM as well. Maybe we'll get the FM working this way. Thinking ahead, dangerously of course. So let's investigate what we're going to do about that. That's going to be tricky, but we'll attach a wire on and see what we can do there, okay? Right, I found out where it comes from. On the end of the wire, making sure we can see it. Yeah, on the end of the wire there's a tiny little bit of red, and it goes to this pin here, and it's just snapped off. There's a chance it's caught something on the bench, maybe. So when we solder this back and the medium wave works, then we know that we did that. If we solder that back and the FM works, then sod's law, as it is, if you know what I mean, sod's law, is struck, or Murphy's law has struck, whichever you want to call it. In this country, we call it Sod's law. Murphy's law, Sod's law, it's the same. So what I'm going to do is I've got some fine wire. I'm going to tin it and solder a wire on the end. Then make sure I've got a connection with it. And then I'll join it to this. And then I'll put some either put some wax on it or some of that black tape. I think I'll probably put wax on it because we can get it off again if we wanted to. You know, I don't want to back myself into a corner. So, and then we'll switch it on and see if that has solved our problem. Okay, that's what we're doing next. I'll film as we go along. All right, I'm gonna tin this wire now.